What? Bang!
Pro Wrestling Podcast. Just when they think they got the answers, I change the question.
Rep screwed rep.
Yeah.
Woo!
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Did he do it? Unbelievable.
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am Macho King Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. I said WWE stands for...
It's me, Austin.
I will never retire.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Hey, look, are you sick and tired of dropping $60, $70, $80, $90, $100 a year on wrestling video games? Dude, put that money back in your pocket. Stop immediately. Go to Wrestler Unstoppable, available totally free. Again, the website is app.wrestlerunstoppable.com. Sign up today where you get to create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storylines, headline PLEs. You could even build your own corporation from the ground up. That means divisions, championships, name, everything, all included, totally free. app.wrestlerunstoppable.com. While you're in there, look up Odin Maximus. That is my avatar. I'll be happy to get you started in the game. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shout-outs, like my good buddy John down in Texas. John, I love giving you that shout-out, brother. I hope all is well. Then pop over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today, and we've got loyalty rewards. If you are a $15 a month contributor, you get to co-host a show with myself. $7.50 a month contributor, you get entered into a drawing to also be able to co-host an episode with me. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you've got questions, comments, something you want me to touch on in the future episode, hey, that's me, Dr. Fro. That's what I do. You got to call into the Pro Wrestling Sound Off line, 267-642-1160, and I will get to those questions, comments, or concerns in a future episode. Tonight, lots of tidbits to get to, starting with Ryan Garcia and all the backlash after him being on that segment with the Judgment Day, not this Monday Night Raw, the previous Monday Night Raw ahead of SummerSlam, and how much backlash has come down, rained down on him, the frustration from the fans. Here's the thing, though. In his comments, he talks about if he was given a better segment, things would have gone differently. I think Ryan Garcia, and look, I don't know the guy personally, and I've never watched one of his fights, and I don't care to. And I'm going to tell you why. It doesn't matter what segment you put him in. The guy is just not a good dude, based on what I've seen on social media. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. This is a guy who is very anti-LGBTQ, very anti-minority representative populations, African Americans, Hispanic Latinos, and things like that, which is shocking because his last name is Garcia. Claimed to be a member of the Ku Klux Klan, all kinds of terrible stuff. People are not giving WWE backlash because they put you in the wrong segment. They're giving you backlash because your personality and everything you've put out into the cosmos is disgusting. There's concerns about his physicality with a former girlfriend, things like that. This is just, from everything I gather, again, just an opinion, because I'm not going to have anybody coming after me for any legal ramifications. I am allowed to expound on my opinion all I want. My opinion, this is not a good dude. My opinion, this guy is a scumbag. My opinion is, it doesn't matter what segment you put him in, I wouldn't have wanted to see him, and were I WWE, I wouldn't have promoted him no matter what you paid me, okay? It's one of those things, and I saw comments, and thank you to the viewer on YouTube who gave a great conversation about Ryan Garcia and WWE's history of not caring about some of these character flaws and just putting anybody on television they choose to. I get it. I've seen that for the entirety of my fandom for pro wrestling. Most times I can wrap my brain around certain things. You know what I mean? Logan Paul had a jaded history, and then he came in, he becomes a superstar. I think Logan Paul was very immature when he was younger. Hopefully he's grown and matured since then. Maybe he's not quite as bad as he was back in the day. That's a little different from this guy, who actively is acting a fool. Even in his response to his appearance was acting a fool. So, not real thrilled. I don't think his perspective on a better segment would have done a flipping thing. They weren't going to get behind him being there because he's just got a reputation for not being a good dude. That's my opinion. Moving over to The Undertaker. Couple things with Taker for today's conversation. One, he talked about his vision for AAA. He was doing a conversation with Chris Van Vliet, and he covered a variety of topics. AAA is something he made it very clear he is the creative guy the creative lead for AAA. He's the booker. He's the head of creative talent management, whatever you want to call it. He is the guy who's going to make all the decisions, and he sees it as being something he wants it to be different from Raw, different from SmackDown, different from NXT, different from everything else out there. Whether that's the physicality, athleticism, whatever it is, he wants to make this brand wholly unique. And I'll be curious to see how that plays out over time. I love that he has something like this to do. He did mention in his interview that he works more now than he did when he was an active wrestler with all these roles he's taken on in WWE. Good for him. It's kind of like I understand he's tired, but like he's making a great living doing additional duties post-wrestling retirement, and it creates new revenue streams and keeps him relevant and involved with the product, something I'm sure he's very happy to be a part of. One thing, though, that came out of the interview that was very shocking to many people is that he is not thrilled doing podcasts. His 6 Feet Under podcast is not something he's interested in doing. They were asked, Chris Van Vliet asked him how long he'd be doing it for, how many years or whatever. And he made reference to it being months. When this contract is up, he does not think they're going to renew. He doesn't like it. I think he compared it to going to the dentist. He'd rather go to the dentist than do the podcast, which is really a shame. You got to wonder why he feels that way. Look, his podcast, the original incarnation with a different co-host, was worldly popular, did great numbers, some of the highest rated wrestler podcasts out there. Then things changed. WWE kind of took over. They put Michelle McCool on the show, got rid of his original co-host. Ratings still very solid. People love hearing The Undertaker. I don't know how much they love hearing Michelle McCool, but they love hearing The Undertaker. And so it's a draw, and people want to hear it, but he just doesn't enjoy doing it. And I don't know what that is. I wish he would have gone into more details about why he feels the way he feels. If it's just a time consumption thing, I get it. But otherwise, look, coming from a podcaster, somebody who's been doing this for about 12 years now, it's something I take great pride in. And I'm not overly successful. Are you kidding? I have under 100,000 total listens since I started. That's where I'm kind of leaning on all you guys to try to help me out and get me as many views as possible so we can get in better position on the logarithm. But The Undertaker, it's effortless. They're always successful. He's over like Rover. He has tons of viewership and just doesn't want to do it. Now, I'm sorry. If you ever want to know what people make doing this line of work, go to a website called socialblade.com and pop in the name of whatever YouTube channel you want to try to put in there. And it'll give you an estimation of what they're making per day, per month, per year. And he's making mad money. So the fact that he's making that much money and willing to walk away from it, he must have some kind of real beef with the podcast to have to want to not renew his contract and continue doing it. I mean, let's be honest, he's only been doing it a couple years and he's burnt out from it already. That's kind of scary. Speaking of people, bad blood, things of that nature, a lot of fans pointing out that on Raw, Corey Graves basically no-sold the return of Big Cass. Now, for those who are not aware, Big Cass at one time dated Corey Graves' current wife, Carmella. And apparently the relationship was serious enough that they had an apartment together. And then based on all of the demons that he has been very honest about in the past, he was physically aggressive towards her. And I'm sure Corey Graves has some ill will towards him. But the fact that he no-sold his return, I get it on a personal level. But in almost like a Vince McMahon mentality, we're professionals. We need people to act professional. I think it's wonderful if they gave him the okay not to sell anything for Big Cass. But at the same time, if he just was shutting down because he hates the guy that much, I understand. I really do. But you have to look at the whole picture. And the whole picture is this guy has gone through some serious addiction issues. He spent the last 8 years really trying to fix himself on a personal level. I would love to know, I don't know this for sure, but I would love to know if he's ever tried to make amends for the things he's done in the past. If he's made those overtures, maybe he's afraid to do that. Maybe he's already done that. I don't know. But I certainly think that in a professional environment, Corey Graves might need to swallow a pill here, a bitter pill, and just get over it and move on if, in fact, he has turned the page and become a better human being, which is what all the reports seem to indicate. Anything about how he's been since becoming Big Bill has been relatively positive, and he's been very forthcoming with all the rehabilitation he's gone through, the treatment, the mental health awareness that he brings. So hopefully he's a better human being, and I really do genuinely hope that he takes the time and the opportunity, if it's provided to him, to try to at least say his piece and make peace with Carmella, with Corey Graves. Let's be honest, in 2026, let's be honest, if Corey Graves and Carmella are not interested in that reconciliation, that is okay. Aren't required to grant him the opportunity to apologize. But I would love for him to at least make the overture, because I think that would be very special. Speaking of the AAA thing, after we were talking about The Undertaker, Roman Reigns, we saw the segment on Raw where he is going to be going to AAA for something. And now Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Radio, he theorizes he understands why. He believes that Roman Reigns is going to be used, as well as CM Punk, for counter-programming purposes to counter All In. Or All Out. I apologize. I always mix the two up. They're going to try to counter-program All Out by using AAA's Worlds Collide. That's, obviously that's not official, but that's what the theory would be right now based on Dave Meltzer, because, and he cautioned that WWE should not be trying to overdo All Out, because, you're going to end up, it's not going to work. All Out's going to be a huge show this year. We don't even know the card yet, but that's something that Tony Khan always goes out of his way to really, do a great job promoting. And it's not good. Give them their day. Let them have their show. If you want to counter program a little bit, I understand that. Having Worlds Collide in general is a counter programming, but putting one of the biggest stars in WWE on a AAA show is kind of shady business. It really, in a lot of ways, in my opinion, it takes away from AAA. We're not good enough to outdraw All Out on our own, so we better bring in a superstar who's not even a part of our brand to try to do something to counterbalance this other company. Let's be honest, AEW is not a competitor to AAA. AEW is a competitor for WWE. AAA would be a CMLL show. So if they were going to do something and you're counter-programming a CMLL show with AAA program, might make a little more sense. But I just think this is a desperation grab. I'm not a fan of the move. I think it's kind of silly, but we'll have to wait and see what happens and how they play this. Got to give some congratulations right now to Bianca Belair, welcoming to the world Romeo Leonardo Allen Crawford. Her child has been born. The young lad is here. She and Montez Ford welcoming their baby into the world this week. What a beautiful opportunity for her to spend some time with her little one. Not sure how long it'll be before she comes back. I'm sure she will at some point. She did give the update a couple weeks ago with a picture of her finger that looks like it's going to be permanently screwed up the rest of her life if you really think about it. But I do expect that she'll be back at some point. But right now, congratulations to Bianca Belair and Montez Ford and to the little one, because it's just a beautiful situation. Love seeing that. Let's go with some non-WWE related news. UFC, sort of related, TKO related. UFC Freedom 250, the show that they put on at the White House to celebrate the nation's 250th birthday. The figures came out, and it turns out that UFC lost $30 million on that show because of the way it was structured, the way they weren't doing ticket sales, the way you normally would a show and things like that. Losing $30 million is not a small chump change, and then these figures came out on their earnings call for their stock report, and that's a massive chunk of change to lose. Hopefully the goodwill for putting on that show somehow brings back some of that cash and future revenue, but that's a huge pill to swallow. Their stock definitely affected by that with the earnings call. So When Dana White says they won't do another one of these, you can understand why. Nobody wants to do another show where you're losing $30 million to do what? To placate the President of the United States, who's going to be leaving office in a couple years. I just don't think it's smart business. You got to keep your show going for the long haul. And finally for tonight, WWE has announced the newest location announcement for a pay-per-view, and it's the Royal Rumble 2027, a multi-year arrangement with TKO and the state of Arizona. In 2027, we will see the Royal Rumble coming to the State Farm Arena in Glendale, Arizona. This is going to be, multiple events will be there. There was a list of others, and I apologize I didn't jot all those down because they're related to all TKO and partner promotions and different type of events and whatnot. So this is just one of the list, but it's a powerful one, especially after this past year. They held the event in Saudi Arabia. There were some people who were not real happy with that because it limited, United States citizens' access to being able to see the show. This should be a great opportunity for people to be able to get back to the Royal Rumble. In my opinion, the most enjoyable pay-per-view of the year. If booked correctly, the unpredictability is just awesome. So it'll be great to see it back in the States again. And I can't wait to see what they do, what kind of shocks and surprises and twists and turns they put in the Rumble this year. It should be pretty amazing. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode where we run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks as always to Suno for creating the music and sound effects we use in our show. Today's show is sponsored by 3 different games. That's right, we've expanded our sponsorship to 3 different games. First off, Beezle Games, longtime supporter. Their game, Sketchy People. Showcase your artistic side in this game from Beezle Games by, it's basically like a Chutes and Ladders meets Pictionary type of game. Got to check it out. Great for the fun for the whole family. Doodle Games. Doodle Games has Banani Market. You got to test your skills against all these other supermarket shoppers. See how great you can grab your goods and get out. And for Freddie Foo Games. Freddie Foo Games has legendary elements where you get to cruise around the cosmos, picking up everything you need to win the final challenge. Check out a copy of all 3 of these games by going to thegamecrafter.com and picking up a copy today. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college, university life, maybe you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to my website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking some time with us today. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a great day.